It's Rob!
Tony!
And I'm Jeff.
We're in gaming.
And that's you.
What's going on, guys? Rob here.
I'm Tony.
And we're going to discuss, should you purchase the Grand Tournament packs? So it's just right around the corner. August 24th is its release. They've got the $50 for 50 packs deal, which isn't a bad deal.
Not at all. Probably the best you're going to get.
Yeah, so
$1
I mean,
pack.
$1 a pack. If you can't afford it, it's honestly not a big deal. We'll go into that. But if you can, I mean, it's probably a great way to start the collection out. It's a great way to get your cards rolling so you can kind of test them out. But we're going to get into why you don't really need to buy the packs right off the bat. And we've got two solid reasons. But again, if you can afford it, that's great. If you can't, this is why this video is for you. Yeah. So our first reason is when the new cards come out, you can kind of...
Oh, yeah. So the decks aren't really established yet. Like, right now, we have, Grim Patron, you have Ramp Druid, you have decks that have been worked to the T.
Yeah,
so
they've been around.
They work really well.
Yeah.
But right now, when all the new cards come out, people are just playing with them, seeing what works, what doesn't work. So right now, there's no point of buying all the cards just to not understand. If you're not a deck tester, that's not your job.
Exactly. I mean, these decks that have been around, let's say for Grim Patron, they've been optimized for play. I mean, they've taken all the fat off the deck. They've
Deck guides,
yeah.
Deck lists.
But for these new
variations.
cards, there's no one playing these yet. There's no way to tell what works and what doesn't.
So you can get a general idea.
Yeah.
But
so
that's it.
What I like to say is, hey, you're going into ranked, right? You're playing a deck that's been around for a while. It's been optimized. You know how to play it. You've been playing it for months now. Okay, and then you go against somebody who just bought these new cards. They're not really sure how to play them. They honestly not even sure what's in their deck, what's the probability of drawing them, all the combinations, the synergy. Along with that, they might not even built the deck correctly in the first place. They're just testing it. So, I mean, it's your deck that's been refined.
Yeah, if anything, you're at an advantage at
Yeah.
first. So you should probably just grind through the ranks as early as you can with your deck that works, that you've been playing for a while.
Yeah.
And then, once the cards start coming out and the decks start working, people are figuring them out, then you just look at someone's deck guide and purchase the cards you need.
Yeah, and what was BRM was released, I believe, 4.5 months ago. So, I mean...
And decks really didn't start getting refined until, like a month and a half, probably.
Yeah,
like
there's still not even a good dragon deck out.
Yeah, seriously.
And it's 4.5 months, there's still not a solid... I mean, there's the Dragon Mage, which I can't... It's not terrible, but I mean, look at Grim Patron.
It's a very consistent win rate. I mean, you've had great success with that.
Yeah.
And so right now you should be saving your dust. You should be saving your gold so that when time comes that you know what deck you want to build.
Yeah.
You can
or when
afford
the
it.
decks have been like at least refined to the point where the decks are at a
viable.
positive, are viable. There's a good synergy between them. People have tested it more than just the couple games and then throwing up a deck list. Give it I would say a good 2 to 3 weeks before you start seeing some really viable decks with the new cards in them.
Right.
That have kind of been tuned in. I mean, you have a bunch of people. There's, I would say, millions of people who play Hearthstone and that are testing these decks out. So, you know what? If you don't have the cash to spend on these cards, you don't need to be a deck tester. You don't need to have them right away unless you can afford it. That's great for you. But for those who can't afford it and they're kind of, freaking out like, oh, I've got, these $50 or $100 that I may not have, but I could spend it on Hearthstone, but there's things I
Wait
need to
to make
spend it
that
on.
choice
Yeah,
if you're on the edge. Just save your dust, do your quest, play, get used to it, and then when you're rank 15 or lower, when you get up there, you're feeling good, then you can start messing yourself up with the new decks.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I mean, they only, depending on what deck you want to play, most people aren't I want to play Paladin, I want to play Rogue, I want to play Druid, I want to play Warrior, I want to play every class. Most cases, people
you your 1 or 2 decks.
You've got your top 3. So from kind of work your way down, all right, the first deck I want to build is a good, let's say, Shaman deck, because Shaman's shown some pretty good potential.
Yeah, so Totem Shaman, see these decks?
Now we're actually just on Shaman
See, we can get ideas. We're oh, this looks good. And we'll try to work that out.
Yeah, so you've been saving your dust, you've been saving your gold, Shaman is your choice. There's only going to be a couple, I don't want to say a couple because we don't know yet, but there's only so many cards that are going to be that are going to fit into a decent Shaman deck, and for the most part it'll be probably, my guess, under 3, I want to say 3k dust. So I mean it's
saving your 3,000 dust now.
So using the dust to buy or to craft specific cards when you know you need those specific cards is your best bet if you're on a budget, and that works for any deck, whether you're Warrior, Paladin, Rogue, it doesn't matter. Just wait for those. Have we reached the bottom? I'm going back up.
All right.
So, I mean, I know I'm going to want to play a Totem Shaman. I know I'm going to want to play a Taunt Warrior, and I'll have to craft those kind of one at a time. There's no way that...
I think Totem Shaman will be my first go. Because I'm a pretty casual player compared to Rob, so this video kind of applies to the people like me who don't want to drop $200 at the start. Like, Rob probably will.
No comment. And we'll actually have a pack opening, hopefully. I mean, not hopefully. We will be opening up to over 250 packs. And we'll see
in the next week. So.
Yeah. On the 24th, we'll have that video up for you guys. So, hopefully this answered the question, should you go out and go buy the Grand Tournament if you don't have, the cash or the funds to do it right now? If you do, like I've said, $50 for 50 packs, if that's all you've got. I mean, think about it as buying a new game. I would say 4.5 months since the last game. $50 really isn't a ton to ask for, but then again, there's college students like us that just don't have it to drop, and you don't need it right away. So don't freak out. Don't be like, oh, everybody else has pre-ordered it. I haven't. I need to do it, but I need to also pay rent. Rent is more important. You need a house in order to sit in to play Hearthstone.
Unless you have a laptop, then you're good.
And then you could just be outside and steal Wi-Fi from like a McDonald's. Why would you be outside? Why just go into the McDonald's?
That's a good point. Anyway.
So thank you guys for stopping by the end. Hopefully this answered your question. Good luck with the new expansion. Let us know what you pulled in maybe some of your packs.
What do you want to play? What decks are you looking forward to building?
Yeah, so we'll be interested to hear what you guys have to say, and hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Of course, like always, I'm Rob.
I'm Tony.
And happy whatever the hell day it is.